so our martial arts road trip tour continues, and at this point we're starting to head back west. We're stopping in one of our favorite cities, Nashville, Tennessee. And we did all the things you're supposed to do in Nashville. So we saw the live music, we ate really good food. It was very dog friendly, so we got to take Sully to one of our favorite restaurants there called 51st Kitchen and Bar. It has a dog park built right into the restaurant itself, so we got to have delicious food and hang out with Sully the whole time, so that was great. Then we had our seminar with Michael Chandler himself, one of my favorite guys to hang out with, to train with, and we put on a really good event there at the Nashville training camp. So we covered the usual stuff. We went over a lot of footwork, boxing, synchronizing the hands and the feet. We did the anti-flinch stuff. Then we also did a lot of boxing counters and combos. I know he had a lot of fighters there. One of his guys who had just fought the day before came in the next day, was feeling fresh, feeling good, no injuries, so he came in there and trained with us. His Muay Thai coach was there, Bruce. At this one, we're just going to open it up to a Q&A for Mike and myself, whatever you guys want to talk about, whether it's what we covered today, YouTube, driving across country in a van, being a famous fighter, a scary man. Sure, there's got to be something. Yes.
When you start training?
I started when I was 9. I started Taekwondo. My dad was also a black belt in Taekwondo. I trained under the same guy as him. Went on to then do Muay Thai when I was 15. Completely abandoned all my Taekwondo training. They told me that stuff doesn't work. Then I started realizing I was landing a lot more head kicks than everyone else, and I started seeing guys in UFC use it, and I was like, wait a second, I think this stuff actually does work. Yeah, and then just competed and got hurt in Thailand, so I came back and started boxing, and then just really started focusing on coaching and training others on the YouTube channel. How about you? 22. I started training. So 2 years ago.
10 years ago. Yeah, I started mixed martial arts training at 22, but I wrestled before that. So I wrestled when I was 14 until I was 22, and then started fighting after that. So I graduated in May of 2009, and then fought my first fight in August of 2009, and then haven't looked back since. So.
What kind of music do you guys listen to?
I need to know. Yeah, that's always a weird question for me, because I usually don't listen to stuff that most people listen to. Growing up was like a lot of underground nu metal.
Okay.
Growing up.
Alright.
Now it's like 90s ska, reggae, and jazz, I would say. I like brass.
Okay. What about yourself?
Country, mostly country. That's about it. Listen to mainly country. The new stuff and the old stuff. But I like the new stuff. A lot of people are like, it's not country anymore. I'm like, yeah, but I like it. So back off the jacket.
Yeah. Yes.
Does it get stressful trying to like record yourself doing matches and still doing the match and being right?
Competition fighting? Yeah, that really got in the way for me. My last 3 boxing matches, I remember I had a boxing match where I was doing Periscope. Remember Periscope was like the live video streaming, and I was getting into the ring and I'm talking to the people as I'm walking up the stairs, and my head was just in the wrong spot. Did it right in the beginning of that fight, but lost the decision. And I remember just thinking like I was looking in between rounds to see if the camera was on me. So that definitely got in the way. I think you need to be able to separate that. But you're awesome with this, because I remember being backstage. I worked with Bellator and I was backstage, and it was like right before he was going on, and I feel someone grab my shoulder, give me a little massage, and I'm like, who's it? I'm like, what? The champ? He's like, you want to come back to the locker room, get some cool shots? And I was like, yes. But he seemed super relaxed, super calm.
Yeah. Well, I think it's hard to separate, because you realize in today's society. Well, for me, I know that if you're doing all this cool stuff behind closed doors and all that kind of stuff, you don't actually give people access to it. There's really no inspiration. There's no tool there, you know. So it's like, so I realize that you have to take. It is the entertainment business, and it's an entertaining sport, and it's also, but you also, when you have a passion and a calling to be able to take what we do on these mats and translate it into people's hearts and minds and all that kind of stuff, you got to try to find that balance between both. And I've had some times where it's been too much. I've had some times when I feel like there's not been enough. So I'm still learning it after 10 years, you know. So but usually fight night, I'm trying to keep it pretty cool, pretty easy, pretty even keel, Yeah, probably the day of, just because unfortunately there's just, everybody has a voice these days, and I don't want anybody else's voice inside my head. I don't want my own voice inside my head. I want my, like you guys may have heard me talk about, when I'm in the back, when I'm about to step into the cage, I'm talking to myself instead of just listening to myself. If I just sit there in silence, as human beings, we have a propensity to just hear negativity. What if this happens, or what if that happens? Instead of that, I know exactly what I want to say to myself, what exactly I want to proclaim and put into the universe, or into the airwaves, into motion as I'm stepping into the cage, rather than just sitting there in silence and listening to myself, because then I can hear things, you know. So I try to avoid social media pretty much that day, unless I'm posting something of my own stuff.
For both of you, what's the hardest technique that you got learned?
The cheat 720, which as a martial club guy, you should know what that is.
Cheat 720.
I don't even want to get up and try. Can anyone do
Do a
it?
video of it?
Yeah, you did a video.
I did, yeah, but I didn't demo it. I had someone else come in. I had someone from Martial Club come in. Yeah, Daniel Ma. It's a turning 720 heel kick.
I do those all the time. Oh yeah. Honestly, for me, it hasn't really been techniques. I feel like I've been pretty blessed to be able to pick up techniques well, whether I'm just watching them or recording them or training them. So I have a leg up in that regard. But I think the biggest thing I had to learn was I walked on the University Missouri wrestling team as the underdog, as the kid who had to outwork everybody, and everybody thought I was going to quit and not make it. So I had to constantly prove myself that when I stepped on the mat, I was going to outwork you, right? And I did that in wrestling matches. I would outwork people, and then towards the end of the match, they would break, they would get tired, I would win the match, and then the underdog wins, right? You can't exactly do that in a fight. Like I've literally passed out in fights before because I'm going so hard, so fast, so quickly. Not to mention my first 12 fights I won, and nine of them in the first round finishes in my first 12 fights. So you get used to just starting fast, but if the finish doesn't come in that first round, you have to slow down, you have to control your heart rate, you have to control your breathing, you have to realize that 25 minutes, for me, most of my fights have been fighting for a world title, so 25 minutes is a really, really, really long time. So learning how to pace myself, learning how to not always have my foot on the gas, learning how to take a step backwards, learning how to let the fight progress and the finish happen rather than trying to force the finish. That's been the hardest thing for me, and I'm 25 fights in, and I'm still trying to win.
So after the seminar with Mike, I actually went to his Muay Thai coach's gym, Chonburi, to train with Bruce, and we have a quick tutorial that we want to show you there. Take a look.
Oh Lord, he coming!
Hey, what's up guys? I'm here with Coach Bruce of Chonburi Muay Thai out here in Nashville. Now Bruce is actually Michael Chandler's Muay Thai coach. So I wanted to pick his brain about how do you take a wrestler who's got that low stance, got the hips back, and teach him Muay Thai. How do you get him kicking like a Muay Thai fighter who's tall, who's got the hips in? So it was a bit of a challenge. So he's gonna show some of the combos that Mike actually uses and prefers. So let's take a look.
And arranging them to suit your purpose. That's the idea.
All right, so when you're working with Mike, I know he's got that wrestler stance, he's low. One of the main things I've noticed is the toes are facing in. In Muay Thai, it's narrow stance, but the toes are out so that we can check the kicks.
Yes.
Have you ran into trouble with Mike with that?
Yeah, almost every wrestler I work with, their stance is always, toes always going up this way.
Right.
So that's why they can shoot in, step back really fast. So Muay Thai stance a little bit like this. It's harder to kick this way. So when you try to kick, I'm gonna try to kick you with like this, so it's hard. It's hard. So make sure, this is what I try to make them do. Toes point out, right? Toe point out, step, kick. So I'm gonna kick you, right? You ever take a body kick? Oops, step, kick, come back.
And I can see you really getting hip in there too. Kind
Yeah.
of gives you a little bit extra range, pushing that hip forward.
Yep. You wanna try?
Yeah.
Here, wrestling stance. Yep.
Step here.
Yep. Step forward. Wow. Now try to get low like wrestler. Yeah. Now extend your legs out. Yes. Extend your legs.
Yeah, I like that because it's pretty deceptive. I can still cover a lot of distance since I'm low, and I can spring into that.
Yes.
And that step, that pivot happens as I do that, right? So I'm stepping in, kind of disguising that, and that's how I can really
Yes.
get the oomph into that kick.
Yep. So now reach it with your hip now. So reach, don't think about your leg, think about your hip. Reaching towards me with your hip, extend your leg. Come all the way up.
Trigger the Michael Chandler style.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and then of course checking kicks is harder too because lifting the leg from that position, right? It's just more weight, whereas in Muay Thai we're taller, less weight, so we can easily lift and check.
Yep.
So one of the things you were saying is kind of just scoops that leg back.
Yep.
Right, because he had some trouble with those calf kicks, and we saw in the rematch he adjusted well by just kind of hiding behind
Yep.
that one there.
Lift it up. Sometimes he does lift it up a little bit, but not much. As long as he doesn't get kicked there.
Right.
But most likely, it's what he does.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Got to give a shout out to Henry Roof. I know that was
Henry
one
Roof
of
does that.
One of his teachings there, and lift the leg up without compromising that wrestling base. So now we're going to go into actual combos on the Thai pads of the ones that Mike likes using. Let's take a look. All right, you guys are gonna like these. Check out this first combo. We're working the push kick, the rear push kick. This one, you'll notice if you're in that low wrestler stance, toes facing in, you still don't have to change much, and you can still get that front push kick. We're gonna use that to the legs to set up the hands instead of a body kick. So let's take a look. So what we did to start was just a jab, find your range, and then as you pull this one back, then we're just gonna go with the rear kick to the legs, right? Just above the knee. And as this foot steps back, we go right with the right hand, create a little bit of distance. Now I'm just gonna walk forward into the lead leg roundhouse kick. Okay, so let's do this once more. So we'll go jab. As that pulls back, I go boom with that kick. Foot touches the ground, I step forward, and then we got that switch kick. So we'll rep out a couple in full now. All right, and the next one, this one I like a lot. So this is gonna work great for the wrestler. Bruce showed me this one about picking the knee. But before we do it, we're gonna set it up with just a jab cross hook, basic 1, 2, 3 combo. So what we do to start, we let the hands go. 1, 2, and we're gonna go with that 3 to the body. And we're gonna sell that as a feint for the next time so that we can pick the knee up. So now we're moving around, we go jab cross, similar motion, just scoop a little bit lower, break that base a little bit. You got the right hand, and again, step in, you got that switch kick. Yes, that's sweet. So again, it's 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm sorry, right to the body. Boom, boom, boom. Coming back, moving around. 1, 2, shoot, punch, step. Ooh. Let's get a couple reps on this one. All right, I like it. Thank you, sir. There's a couple you guys can add to your arsenal if you're a wrestler. If not, either way, these are still going to be great combos that you can use in MMA. Guys, I've been training with Bruce for what, like 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Learned a ton, and this is a very cool gym. So if you guys are in the Nashville area and you want that authentic Muay Thai experience, this is the place to come train. Links are in the description below for his Instagram as well. Great content on there, so definitely check that out. And some big announcements. I'm not going to spoil anything. You told me about a big announcement that's coming up.
Yeah.
So keep your ears open for that. But until then, I'm Shane with fightTIPS, and this is Coach Bruce for the Underdogs.
So we had a great time in Nashville, spent a couple of days there, were able to relax, and at this point, we headed back to South Carolina. So we backtracked a little bit, and we hung out with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now that video is already up, so we did some sparring. You guys can check that video out if you haven't watched it already. Links will be in the description below for that. And then we finally started heading back west to head back home. So we're driving through Texas, and our next official stop is Albuquerque. And yes, we're stopping at Jackson Wink. We're gonna do videos with Greg Jackson, with Karate Hottie Michelle Watterson, with Dr. Bo Hightower. We've got some good footage, good content coming your way, so stay tuned for that. But until then, subscribe if you haven't already to get the fight tips before your opponent does. Until then, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Shane with Fight Tips for the Underdogs.